In this video, we're going to show you the Rascal brand by Mega Motion's newly released scooters, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Alex from Marc's Mobility, and in this video we're going to go over some of the new scooters released by Mega Motion. This is bringing back that Rascal brand that you have heard of in the past. Now, these are not going to be exactly the same as some of the old Rascal scooters, but this is the Rascal brand, once again, by Mega Motion. Now, what we have here is going to be this called the Conquest. They have this in the four-wheel version, what you see here, and also in a three-wheel version. But for the video purposes, I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between the two different specs so that you can kind of see the scooter. Now, once again, the three and the four-wheel scooter are both going to have a 6-mile-an-hour top end speed, and they are both going to be rated at 350-pound weight capacities on the units. Is going to be some big differences, though, is going to be basically the turning radius on the units, which does make sense. A three-wheel and a four-wheel scooter do have significantly different turning radiuses. The three-wheel is just under 40 inches, where the four-wheel is going to be a little over 50 inches on the turning radius between these two different units. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is going to be the tire size of the units. On the four-wheel, you're going to have 10-inch tires in the front, and they are 10 inches by about 3.5 inches in width. They call the back 10.75, so I'll say just a little bit under 11 inches. On the three-wheel unit, your front tire is going to be a little bit smaller at a 9-inch wheel. Once again, on the four-wheel, it is going to be the 10-inch size front tire. Now, overall distance on these units, the specs kind of vary online. It does vary based on somebody at 200 pounds or 200 or at 350 pounds. Now, I'm going to give a range because these specs kind of fluctuate, but it's somewhere, if you're at the top max of the weight capacity, about 10 miles on a charge, and somewhere in that 15 to 16 mile range if you're more at about 150 to 200 pound weight capacity. So the weight does vary based on your distance you're going to go on the units. So once again, if you're going to be at a lower weight capacity, somewhere in that 150 to 200 pound weight range, you might get somewhere in that 15, 16 mile range. Now, that's on ideal conditions. Once again, scale it down if you're going to be taking this in the grass or on some types of inclines. If you're at that weight capacity, that 350, more towards the top, just know you're probably going to get roughly about 10 miles in ideal conditions. So it's going to kind of give you the variation based on what your weight is for the unit, but they do come with 35 amp batteries. We do sell replacement batteries for this unit, and we also sell them for most all other products on the market as well. So if you are looking for batteries, don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd love to speak with you, and we can ship you batteries anywhere around the country. Now, they do come with a front headlight. It's not anything crazy. It's not going to be a massive headlight. It's not a DOT grade headlight or anything like that, but it is a headlight that does give you some visibility while you're driving if you are driving at night. I'm looking in the rear just to see if there's any tail light. There is no tail light in the back. It is just reflectors. So once again, the Rascal scooter is going to be just a little bit more of that cost-effective type scooter on the market to kind of fill that void for that middle range. I believe these are going to be somewhere, between that $1,500 to $2,000 price point range of a scooter. So it might look like other things on the market. It is a well-tested product, but it is not going to be that high price point. It does come with a nice large front basket that is going to be 11 inches wide by about 9 inches. I guess whichever way you want to look at it. You can do 11 by 9, and then the depth of it is going to be about 8 inches. So that'll kind of give you a reference. The seat does swivel, so you can get in it from any side, and it is going to have a docking device in the back. So if you want to put a rear basket, oxygen tank holder, walker holder, different type of accessories, which you'll see on the website as well, you are able to add to this unit. Now, the seat that's going to come on these is going to be a 17.5 by about 17 inches of a seat. The seat to floorboard height is going to be about 15 inches. This is going to be the four-wheel unit, which is going to limit some of your leg room. Do note that if you go with a three-wheel unit, you are able to kick your feet kind of out farther in front of you, and you are also going to then have that smaller turning radius as well. Now, the overall length of the scooter, the four-wheel is going to be a hair longer. It's going to be just under 47 inches in overall length, where the three-wheel unit is going to be just under 45 inches in length. So you're about 2 inches difference, but do know you are going to have about a 12-inch smaller turning radius, maybe 12 or 13 inch, based on the three-wheel compared to the four-wheel. Now you are still going to have your little bit of horn. You're going to have an older-like display that you would see on some of the older scooters, which is a needle that goes across. It's not an actual digital gauge, so it's just a needle that goes across that will kind of show you when it's in the green, the yellow, or the red. So do notate you are going to have to pay attention to that needle, and sometimes those needles do fluctuate when you first take off because it's obviously taking a draw on the batteries and then it kind of levels itself back out. Now the ground clearance on this unit is going to be at the motor, is going to be your lowest point. A lot of manufacturers don't list this, but this is 2.44 inches, so we'll just say a little under 2.5 inches at the motor. So that would be if you were going to hit a tree stump that was only 2 inches high, you would clear the motor, which is your lowest hanging point. They do kind of give a really unique spec on here as well that says like a climbing obstacle. So I'm talking about speed bumps, thresholds, things like that. It's right at about 3 inches, give or take. One's like 2.95, the other version's a little over 3. So we'll just say 3 inches of like a threshold that you'd be able to climb over. Once again, don't come to a complete stop at the lowest speed setting and try to climb over it. That might make it a little bit difficult, but you know, anything that's 3 inches, you should be able to climb over that type of object. Once again, not straight on at the motor, that's going to be 2.44, but climbing over thresholds about 3 inches on the unit. So once again, this is the Rascal Conquest by Mega Motion. Very good, dependable scooter if you're looking for something for a good price point that doesn't have a lot of extra features on it. And I'm going to take it outside now and do a little driving demonstration just so you can see what I look like sitting on this scooter. So this is the Rascal Conquest, the four-wheel version. Once again, they do have a three-wheel version. What I'm showing you here is that about 51-inch turning radius. So you can see it does turn really sharp for a four-wheel scooter. Just know that a three-wheel scooter is going to turn even sharper than this. To kind of give you a reference, I'm 6 foot tall, 220 pounds. I believe this seat post can come up a little bit. I wanted to kind of show you here, I wear a size 12 shoe and my foot can fit in here, but optimally I think it would be a little more comfortable if I had my feet kind of kicked out here a little bit in front of me. And you also are going to have an adjustable tiller as well right here on the unit where you are able to loosen this and adjust this to different degrees and then self-tighten it back up. So once again, you are able to adjust that. You have your charging port right in here. But yeah, it does go about 6 miles an hour, so it does have some decent acceleration on the unit as well. So it's definitely one that doesn't have any suspension or anything great, but if you're looking for a scooter that's not going to break the bank, I think one of these Rascal Conquest by Mega Motion could quite be the option for you. All right, so now I'm going to do my little bit of driving demonstration where I kind of come over here in the ditch. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but there are some pretty good slopes and some pretty good roots over here. So I always like to kind of drive it and just see the stability of the unit, the power of the unit. Honestly, that was no problem at all. Once again, I mean, there's a little bit of a lip right here with a root and a decent climbing angle. So, you know, I know they rate them at about 6-7 degrees angle, which is a little bit more than a handicap ramp is kind of how they rate these types of units. But once again, I mean, I'm impressed for what it's going to be for the price point. I think it's going to be a very good, dependable unit. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to speak with you.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And my name is Alex. We're co-owners of Marc's Mobility.
I started this company in 1995.
We sell many products, not just what you see in this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please call us at the number below at 800-677-6293. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.